Hello, how are you? This is Els coming to you from Bemis Crafty Corner, and today we're going to do this, okay? I know, it's not a journal. It has nothing to do with journals. It's not ephemera. No, it's not. I'm going to be doing a series this year of recycled stuff. You know, things that you can recycle to make, neat little things around your house or your craft room or whatever. Now, this particular one, you can use this, you can put some fake flowers in here if you want to, if you're that kind of person, I don't know. You can hang it up and put keys in it. You could put it up in your craft room, and you could, load it up with maybe your glue bottles or something. Maybe, you put your glue in here, whatever you want to do, okay? So, this is a can. Okay, start at life as a can, and this is what it is. And it's got this little hanger on the back of it here, so that you can hang it up on the wall if you want to. And I'm going to show you how to do this. We're going to do this step by step. I'm going to be back in just a minute with a list of supplies, and we're going to get started on this one. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, it is an extensive list of stuff, so let's take a look. I tried to do this because it is a recycling project. I kind of tried to do this with things you might already have around the house. So, can. This time of year, we should all have these. But you want a can, a big can. It could be tall, it could be small, it could be any kind of size can you want. If you got one of those big monster ones, awesome. But this is the size I'm going to be using. It's the 1 pound can. We're going to be using this one. A can opener, because we want it open on both ends. Not the kind that takes the thing, that takes this off. You want the one that goes inside. Okay, so make sure that your can be opened on both sides. So we're going to want those. Gesso, some paint brushes, some gel or Mod Podge, whatever you're going to use, some water, paper towel, paint. Most people do this with milk paint, but I find that I actually like to use the Waverly, which is more like of a wall consistency. Napkin for decoration, and a hammer. The other thing is these are adhesive sawtooth hangers. They're self-stick. They have these little sticky pads on them. There's 6 of them in here. It's a 1 pound max. They're $1.99, and I picked these up at apparently the Hobby Lobby. So that's kind of everything. All right. Another good thing to have when you're doing this is something to put your can on, so that you can have it up when it dries. So I use this spray bottle. It works pretty good for me. So the first thing you're going to do is, obviously, you're going to start with a clean can, and we're going to take off both ends. Now, I'm going to attempt to do this. It's not easy to do carpal tunnel, but, we're going to give it a shot. All right. Oh, well, I'm going to have Hubbard do it. Anyway, so we're going to take off both ends of the can. And once we have both ends of the can off, haha, I win. Pretty sure I win. Yes, okay. I win. All right. We're going to get rid of this. We don't need it. Be careful. It has sharp edges. You remember doing that when you were a kid for hopscotch? Okay. Then we're going to take off the label. And then we're going to clean off any residual glue or anything that's left on the can. All right? So go ahead and get your can cleaned up, and I'll meet you right back here, and we'll get started. All right. So I have my can clean. And what I'm going to do is, there's a seam in your can right there, okay? And I want to keep that kind of as the back middle. So what I'm going to do, this is not hard. I'm just going to squeeze on one end, okay? And I'm just going to push and squeeze and boosh and turn it over and whoosh. Okay? Then this is the noisy part. You're going to take your hammer and you're going to hammer this down. Now, if you have something to put this on that's about, you know, an inch deep, that works really well. So the edge of your table works really good. Okay? And it's going to take about 5 minutes or so to do this. So go ahead and get this part done, and I'll see you right back here. Okay. So I have sealed the bottom up. It's not sealed. I mean, it's, you know, it's just hammered together. But if you were going to use this as a planter, you could put some cheesecloth in here and then add your dirt, put your bulb in, and then hang this up. And you could hang it on two sides if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you, but that's a great way to use these. So the next thing we're going to be doing is putting our gesso on, okay? So I like to use a big mop brush when I do this because it just works better. Because you got all these little ridges to get, you know, filled in. So I just kind of like put some on there and mop it away. Now, if you want to skip this, you can skip this. But I think that it makes the color kind of stick better, and it becomes a more true color. Okay? So I'm going to gesso one side, and then I'm going to gesso the other side. And that is where my spray bottle comes in handy, because before I get this to a point where I can't touch it, spray bottle. And then I can come in here and makes it a little easier, you know. Alrighty, now, okay, here's a hint from me to you. You cannot dry this with your heat tool because it's metal and you can't control the temperature. Okay? So, make sure you get your gesso on there, and then either use just an air setting with no heat and a blow dryer, or just let it dry, you know. I'll be honest, I cheat. Let me get this spot right here. I do. I cheat. I have this fantastic fan. And I just turn it on and let it dry my piece. So I'm going to let this dry, and once it's dry, we will be right back here, and we'll get started on the next piece of this process. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is now dry. So we're going to get it wet again. We're going to go ahead and paint it, and I have chosen this. It is a semi-gloss. The color is called Maize. And we're just gonna, you know, we're gonna take a look at it and see if this is good. If not, we'll change it to something else. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some paint on here and get this covered. And then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to put a second coat. On here. So this whole process will take me probably about half an hour. For you guys, it'll be just moments. Alright, so I am going to put 2 coats and let each coat thoroughly dry. And then I will be back. And we'll move on to the next step. But while this is drying, we'll talk about the napkin, okay? So the next thing we're going to be doing is our napkin, and I will be back with that in just a moment. Okay, so the can is off drying, and I have a napkin. This is a cocktail size napkin, and I just cut 1/4 of it, and we're just gonna, get rid of the backing. Get rid of this part. And then we're going to kind of pick the image that we want to put on here. Now, this is the same size can, and so you can see you can get a pretty big chunk of this on here, but we don't really want the straight edges. So you can use a water marker if you want, a water pen, or just a very fine paintbrush. Get a little bit of water on it, and just kind of take off some of those pieces. Get rid of the sharp angles, so to speak. We don't want those. So all I'm doing is just putting a little bit of water on the bottom here so that I can just kind of pull this off randomly and give it a little bit of a less finished look. Okay? Now let's say I don't want this little flower over here. I'll just add a little water and take that part off. Okay? So I'm going to do this all the way around. Kind of come in here. A little bit of water. And then just take off whatever I don't want. I'm sort of okay with this. Now, if I don't want any of these tall pieces, I can just take those out and just have this bottom piece. However I want to do this, okay? So I'm going to get the practice one out here real quick. I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to take a little bit more off the bottom because I really like this part. So I'm just going to take a little bit more off the bottom here. And you can measure your can before you do this, to see, okay, that's going to fit nice. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside and let all the edges dry. Get rid of the pieces that we're not going to be using. And as soon as my second coat is dry, I will be back and we will get started on the next part of this. I'll be right back. Okay, we're dry. So now I just have to decide which, side I want to be the front. And I think it's going to be this one. And then I'm going to get out my gel medium in the brush. And I'm just going to put this on right over the top of the paint. I'm going to make sure I've got, a pretty good coverage here. And then we're going to take our piece, put it where we want it, press it down. And then we're going to go over this with the gel medium. Don't worry about wrinkles. You're going to find that the napkin sort of blends away, and you just kind of end up with that image. Okay. Now I'm going to let this dry, and then when I come back, we're going to go ahead and put that hanger on the back, okay? So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, now if you want this to be a little bit more closed, you can just give it a little bit of a squeeze, however you want to handle that. But I'm going to put a hanger on the back. Let me get one of these out of here. And I don't need to clean it up or anything because it's fresh paint. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the protective piece off. I'm going to find the back in the middle. And what I'm looking is that this is below the top here. And then I'm just going to press that and hold it for about 30 seconds. And then it typically locks in pretty good. Okay. I'm just using the paintbrush there to kind of push it down. So I've got this little plastic piece here that I can hang this up with, and it's going to, you know, be hidden behind. So there they are. All right, so once you have the piece on the back here, you can now hang this and nobody's going to see the nail that's behind there. And that's it. Those are my pieces, guys. Aren't they cute? Check them out. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. If you're new here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends, and then your friends can be my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. And before you know it, we have a giant crafting community. I go live on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And I post videos twice a week, typically Mondays and Wednesdays, but it could be any day of the week, and it could be more than twice. Let's see, what else? We got all kinds of things going on in 2023. So make sure that you check either the community tab here on my YouTube channel or over on my Facebook group. Check the featured listing there. It's going to tell you all the who, what, when, where, why, and how of my digital life and what we've got going on. So until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.